And we're live. Another Wednesday, another live stream. Hope you're all staying warm tonight. Usually what I tell people when we start, if you're watching a replay, is just skip ahead 2 or 5 minutes and give everyone time to get in here and get all set up. Bootleg Radio 73, thank you for joining. Roy and the Secret People, thank you for joining. Get you in here. All right. Yep, I'm just gonna get these guys in here and we can get started. Just want to quick say shout out to everyone who came out to the Halloween show on Saturday. That was a lot of fun. We dressed as
Oh, we can see.
Hey, there we are. What's up?
Is it coming through the speaker? Because I don't hear shit.
Can you hear me?
I don't hear anything. Is your guy up? What? Yeah.
Hey.
All right. What? All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now.
All right, cool. Welcome.
What's up?
Nothing. Usually this is like the first, I always give people like the heads up, like, hey, just skip ahead 2 or 5 minutes. It usually takes a minute to get through all the technical issues. So thanks for jumping on here. I'll just quick read something off the top and then we can get started.
Okay.
Yeah, if there's anyone.
Okay, cool. So we're not like live.
Oh yeah.
We're not live.
Yeah.
Only 2 people, you and I, but okay, so don't worry about it. Cool.
But if you see any people jump in, feel free to shout them out, or if people have questions, just read them off and we can do
Okay.
All right.
So you can be seen, right?
Yeah. Hello and welcome to the Bellwether Ritual live stream, where we discuss music, the local Lehigh Valley, PA scene, bands, social media, and more. Today is Wednesday, November 1st. My name is Mike and I'm the vocalist of Bellwether Ritual. Hope you had a good week. And yeah, just wanted to say thanks for all y'all who came out to the Halloween show at the Flying V. That was a lot of fun. Real West, Hollow Hal, and Edgar Gore. And just quick, our next show is going to be November 11th at 11 Fest for the Bethlehem Public Library fundraiser, which is awesome. Yeah, and tonight our guests are Roy and the Secret People. They are a high-energy alt-rock band from the Lehigh Valley, PA, which is great, gigging the tri-state area. They've released 4 records and multiple singles and are described as a mix between the Black Crowes and David Bowie, which is awesome mix for me. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've been listening. And we'll talk about all that and more. Guys, welcome to the live stream. How are you?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
Hanging in there, man. It's a Wednesday,
Oh, wait.
so
Mike.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you. How was your Halloween?
Oh, it was good. Yeah. We
It's not coming.
What's that?
Oh, it is? Oh, no, we have an external speaker. Here's the situation, man. I have a ear blockage. I can only hear through one ear. I'm half deaf.
Dude.
So we have like a big speaker here so I can hear, but we're just trying to make that work. But I can hear you. I can hear you fine.
Okay, cool. I had the same problem. I had a severe ear infection and couldn't hear jack shit out of one side. It was awful. So
what they do for it? Just take meds?
Yeah, I got like specific shit for it. And then like I've been doing eardrops all the time, so.
What's up with the eardrop?
Yeah. You have them too?
What? I'm kidding. Yeah.
Yeah, gotta learn sign language or something. All right. Anything you guys want to plug right off the top? Like shows coming up or singles or anything?
Well,
yeah, so we've
this is Ed Golden.
Cool.
Ed Golden's our band plugger. He
right.
plugs all the holes. He plugs everything.
Yeah, not so literally.
Not so literally.
So, November 6th, 17th. I have it here. Hold on. I just want to verify that it's the right date.
Well, November 4th.
7th. Okay, go ahead.
We're playing at Bacon Fest in Easton.
Yeah. I want to talk to you
and that's a huge once-a-year thing that we love doing. There's so many people there. It's great, and I know like a lot of my friends are vegans and stuff, and that's cool. But I'm also like, you know, hey man, it's also a platform. If you don't eat meat, you could talk about, hey, you know, poor pigs, but I eat meat and I love
counter protests.
you know, there and I look forward to the protests every year. But Bacon Fest in Easton is a huge food festival. We're playing Saturday
3 to 5.
3 to 5.
Hog Wild stage.
The Hog Wild stage on the main stage, and we'll be closing it down. So we're very excited about that.
Meat or no meat, come out and enjoy the music. There's alcohol.
Plenty of bacon-fused whiskey and
none.
Oh, and none.
Something for everyone.
There's something for everyone. Yeah. And then we got a bunch of other shows coming up with
So 17th, November 17th, Godfrey Daniels.
Oh yeah, Godfrey Daniels, acoustic set, Hot for Robot. We're playing with our buddies in Hot for Robot. We're opening for them. It's going to be a really cool acoustic show. It'll be our full band acoustic.
Yep. Next night, the 18th, Music Fest Cafe.
The 18th at the Music Fest Cafe at Steel Stacks. We're playing with a bunch of singer-songwriters. It's Nashville meets Bethlehem.
That's right.
Put on by our friend Gerard with his company, and it's going to be great.
There are tickets required, and they're
tickets
available
required,
at
available.
the door or online.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a note of that. Yeah.
After that, I think
16th of December. Scotty
we're
Austin.
done until we open for Scotty Austin, who was a ex-singer for Saving Abel, and we're playing at Frenchtown. Artie's opening for him and direct support. So that's going to be a good time. So yeah, we got a few gigs, like to finish the year out as we're recording this new record that we're working on. So it's kind of like a mix of keeping busy, playing out, trying to test the new tunes.
Yeah, it's an important step, I feel like, and then go hit the studio after that, you think?
Yeah.
With your learnings.
During and then after,
Yeah. Always a good idea. I just want to shout out a few people. Chaos Guitars, thank you for joining. Jack Fincoin, thank you for joining. Madeline, thank you for joining. Is that you? Yeah?
You're on.
I've got people watching.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Singer Valka, thank you for joining, and Lisa Ballin, thank you for joining. If you have questions at any point, drop them down in the comments.
Lisa?
And we'll
Is that
get to them.
B-O-E-H-M?
Bauman?
Yeah.
I think she's or she was in here for a second.
Oh, she shoots a lot of our shows. She's
yeah. I want to ask you about that too. And your
Do you know her?
No, but your videos are always like you have good quality stuff. I just was curious about that. Do you just want to talk about that a little bit now?
Shout out to Alex.
Shout out to Alex. And was it Truefold Media?
Truefold Media.
Truefold Media. Yeah, he's an amazing videographer and photographer. We had a really good time working with him for sure.
Very cool.
Yeah. For the video for Golden on YouTube, it's gotten a lot of views. If you haven't checked it out, definitely go there and check it out. Alex was behind a lot of that, along with some other friends, and gave us access to things like the airport and some airplanes and such. So it was a blast. Alex
has been with us for a long time.
Yeah, super easy to work with. So, if you need that kind of thing, reach out to him for sure.
Yeah.
Very cool. Bootleg Radio 73 says RSP live from Studio 73 Bethlehem. I was just watching that a little bit previously.
We are
Yes,
we are here.
Yeah, we're here. We do like all our pre-post, whatever you want, production work here. We do all our live recordings here. We put out a full album with most of the album recorded here called Truck Stop Sushi. We recorded that record we recorded 2 different singles at 2 different recording studios, but then filled the rest of the record out with a live actual like audience participation situation here in the studio, which filled out the rest of the whole record so we could put out a whole 10, 11 song record.
Yeah, a lot of that's on YouTube yet, right?
And that's all, a lot of that's on YouTube. But this is the record that we recorded here. And so Truck Stop Sushi, which we have, and then it's like Band, and then the really cool little blue record, all that cool shite.
Cool.
Yeah, we got some vinyls.
Also available on the website.
Also available on our website.
I might have to ask you where you got the vinyls from, because that's kind of hard to get nowadays.
Yes. Should know.
We know a guy.
We know a
That sounds good.
He knows the guy too.
You know the guy.
And he knows the guy. So
Very cool.
this so the first record that we put out was I guess we were trying to do a test through, what was it? Disc makers?
Well, yeah, disc makers.
Disc makers. And so that's what this is from, disc makers. So we did this as a test to see, like, can we put out a record? What does it look like? I mean, we did this, like, I don't know, 4 years ago. And we had a great experience with the turnarounds and everything on this record and the way it sounded. So we decided to remaster our second CD and put it out on a record as well, which is the Phoenix album. And the Phoenix album, we were like, all right, everything like totally takes so long to get vinyl out, everything else. And like, we got like, you know, all the artwork done, blah, blah, blah. The record came out and it's like in the parchment kind of a situation. It's got the gold, it's got the old book look. Yeah. And so we ended up going through a company based, where was it based? It was like Czechoslovakia. And this record came back so professional. The wax was a thick wax, like everything was updated, and like we learned a lot from the first release. You know, with the thickness of the whole record. I never even knew it came in thicknesses.
Yeah, all in all, a lot goes into the production behind that.
And and the turnaround. Boom. The turnaround, I think we got it back in how long, John Paul?
6 weeks.
Within 6 weeks. Wow. Which is unheard of in vinyl. So that was like a big thing for us. So we're like, all right.
There's a lot of mainstream, and I hate to say certain people's names, but you know, the Swifties and all that crowd, they've tied up vinyl for a long time.
Yeah,
like
for real.
And so you got to get around that. Luckily, John Paul was able to go, let's go around that. And I've heard other mainstream artists now looking to do the same thing because they're going overseas.
Czech Republic.
Same thing.
The Czech Republic. That's where it's from. Yeah.
There
so we got that made in Czech Republic and came back so fast. Sounds amazing, so professional, and so
available on our website.
Yeah, it's available on the website.
Very cool. Just want to shout out a few people. Angel, thank you for joining. Last Legs Music, thank you for joining. J. George, and Hugh, thank you for joining. Gallon and Geode Riffs, thank you for joining. If you have questions for Roy and the Secret People, you can drop in the comments below and we'll get them.
Is that Galen Jerry? Galen? Oh, it is? All right, so Galen's one of my boys.
Cool. All right. Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
All right. So usually what I like to ask off the top is like, is there a person in your life or a song or like a record or something that really kind of was the thing that got you into music originally?
You can answer.
I mean,
we'll go down the line.
So my answer is that I had a dad who I grew up in music because of my dad. He worked at Martin Guitar.
Oh, cool.
He was the custom shop manager. So I gained a lot of interest just being around it and being around those people and all that kind of stuff. This is my dad, by the way. He's the guitar player of the band. And yeah, I just kind of fell in love with it and wanted to keep going. So he's the person. As far as, I don't really think I have a specific band. Lots of things.
Lots of influence.
Yeah, lots of influences.
So many.
Too many to name, but I like anything from Allman Brothers to Joss Stone to David Bowie to anything.
Yeah, so I'm lucky to have a musical family. Maddie, Sarah for sure. Hannah even plays some
Oh, you won the
at
introduction.
home. Yeah, see, I pay her to say this. No, but from that perspective, lots of
money well spent. Yeah.
it adds a different feel to things when you bring a lot of influences into songwriting, into performance, all those things. Because I like classical guitar music. I like Celtic violin music, all kinds of so you have all these things that really add, different elements to the music, and I think that makes it diverse and interesting at the same time. So it's kind of what we've been doing for since you've been alive.
Yeah, I just want to point out
Since
too,
you've been alive.
the two records that you're actually referring to, me and the current drummer are not actually on, but we do have those singles coming up. Golden just came out, Life Has Happened, it just came out. So once that album is complete, it'll be a culmination of the current lineup that we have, including a violin and a kick-ass drummer. So, yeah, just wanted to throw that out there.
Very cool.
I love being a part of this band, and it goes back long before myself or he or even my dad has been involved. So we're happy to come along with these roots that have already been put down. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. There was we did an interview with a band, Burn. Do you know them? They're like a cover band. Yeah, they have a similar situation where it's father-daughter. So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you, Mike?
Wait, what was the question?
I'm trying to remember.
Influence.
Like,
the roots.
Is there something?
My,
What was the thing that got you interested in it?
It all started when I got kicked off the Little League team for not being the greatest pitcher on the team. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not kidding. So yeah, I mean, I've always been interested in music as an escape before like video games and stuff. So I've just been doing music seriously since I was 15, and I haven't stopped doing it since I was 15. So I still look at it as a 15-year-old, only much wiser. And I think my inspiration was like literally like anybody today would find inspiration as I don't know if it's an inspiration, but it's an escape from, whatever kind of like shit that's going down. So I just turned to music for that, just to escape my personal life at the time, and I'm just in it.
So your influence is life.
My influences: Neil Diamond, Bruce Dickinson, Rob Halford, Ronnie James Dio, Nick Cave.
Yeah, that's a good lineup. Heck yeah.
And David Bowie, #1.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
Yeah.
Seventh Sign Photography, thank you for joining. Bryrex, thank you for joining. And
oh my God, Seventh Sign Photography. They were at our last show with the Soap Girls at Artie's. We opened for them.
Cool.
And no, those guys that's an amazing photography live experience. If you get a chance to hire them. They're amazing. So,
awesome.
Yeah. I didn't see any pictures that they took of us, but I saw the pictures they took of the Soap Girls. Yeah. Amazing.
Did you do any back bends or anything?
I don't do back bends.
Me neither.
Maddie does side bends.
Okay. Yeah. I don't want to risk it.
Yeah. I try. I jump on stuff, but.
Did y'all do anything for Halloween or get dressed up at all for Halloween? Just real quick, since we're.
Good question.
Gave candy out.
Gave candy out?
I worked at School of Rock in Downingtown, and we put on a show for the kids. There was a Halloween party, so the teachers become the band. So we dressed up for that.
That's cool.
Pretty fun, yeah. Yeah, it was a good time.
Cool.
We last year, every year the band always tries to do a Halloween show. This year it didn't work out so much.
Yeah.
But like last year we did like Sugar Skulls, and we did like a little auditorium Day of the Dead theme. With an auditorium we were playing with a Leonard Skinner tribute band. Year before that, even the year before that, we did a werewolf show.
Oh.
Yeah.
We were all werewolves. We had like a fog machine. Yeah. Field of Screams.
Oh, yeah.
We did Field of Screams one year. And then we were all, I don't know what we were for that. We were like zombie, we were dead Undertakers.
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, it was quiet. It was quiet.
Take a break.
Very cool.
How about you? Did you do anything fun?
Yeah, what did you do?
Oh yeah, I've already went through that a couple times. We we had a good time. We played at the Flying V, and we went as Wizard of Oz, which turned out really well.
Yeah.
So.
How's the Flying V?
It is good. It's a little bit tight, so like you have to squish in a bit. And like we brought some monitors and stuff to just they had front PA, but we made sure to throw some monitors on the floor too because it just helped the sound. So
yeah, okay.
But it was like BYOB. I think it was like $7 cover. So
that's cool. BYOB, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Down with that.
Yep. So you're talking about like you're going into like recording, like playing a few shows, but then going into like a recording period again. Is there a way that like you write songs, or a bunch of different ways to write songs, or how do you get ready to go record them, and how are you writing them?
It's been kind of a culmination. I mean,
Organically.
Yeah, it's kind of an organic thing for sure. We start either he'll come up with a riff that we build on, or he has words and a melody that we build on. As soon as we have like bare bones, we go and record it and then listen back to it and like, okay, I like this, I don't like this, add this.
Yeah, there's a lot of pre-production involved.
Yeah.
But you know what's been really interesting? I'll say over the last couple of months of rehearsals, even trying out new material, and some of it's syncing really quickly.
Yeah.
It's coming together even musically faster than I thought it would, in the sense that everybody knows where that change is going to come from. We have enough, mojo amongst us to go, that's where we're going, and kind of know that now. And so some new stuff's developing that's really interesting, and, becoming more and more intricate. But forming really fast because of the familiarity that we have with each other, I think, at this moment. So that's been really fun. It's fun exploring that kind of stuff, with each other musically. Conversation that goes on during rehearsals, music,
For sure. That's always a good sign. I feel like when things come together quickly, it's just like, sometimes they don't take, when you find the right people, it doesn't take as much work, or I don't know.
Yeah.
It still takes work, but there's this ease to it. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of finding the right people, we had a gentleman come out actually from iProdigy who...
Eric.
Yeah. Here, you talk about it, 'cause I'm not...
Yeah. No, we just signed a new distribution deal with
cool.
iProdigy Music, Eric Todd, through Eric Todd. Really cool up-and-coming company. We're hoping to see a little more of a reach than we're getting through some of the other platforms that we're on right now. So we're really excited to take this journey in the beginning with this really cool concept of a distribution company, A&R company. So we just signed with the iProdigy, so we're stoked about that.
Good things to come.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Congrats. How'd that come about? Like, was it something that you were looking for, or?
No, not at all.
Another thing that kind of happened organically.
It was very organic.
Yeah.
It was just through just relationships with other people and just playing out a lot and stuff like that. And somebody saying, hey, these guys, and somebody who knew us was like, oh, let me turn you on to this guy. And I ended up having a relationship with this guy from the past through some other companies that a long time ago that he worked for.
It all comes back to, I know a guy.
The very first,
it
was a very full circle, like, I know that guy.
It was funny because you went to give him a CD right as he was...
Oh, yeah, and he was like, I got that.
Oh, wait, I have it. somebody,
and everything else,
you know.
just like every other business, it's all about relationships in this one too. And it always does come back to, I know a guy, I know somebody who can do this or help you with that or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's all network, including what we're doing right now with you guys, which is great. So
Yeah.
it's a community.
And I think it
takes a community.
And it's really great with the Bellwether is doing. I think you guys are really doing something really smart right now, because not only are you expanding your brand, but through all of us that you're interviewing, but then we're all getting to know you guys, and we're forming relationships with you guys. You guys are forming relationships with us, and then I think
it doesn't ever have to be people in music. I feel like, at least in my experience, because I play on my own as well, I feel like a lot of people look at it as competition, and I feel like it doesn't have to be competition. It's all about the collaboration
Yeah,
between
absolutely.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
And there's not a community if everybody's working against each other and got to build each other up.
Yeah.
And I feel like, yeah, that's how it should be. So
True. Yep.
kudos, man.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Yeah, it came from the pandemic, really. Of like, we just were sitting around like, what can we do at the very least? And then, just kind of tried to stick to it. So, yeah, and thank you for being a part of it. Really appreciate it.
Oh,
Yeah.
we appreciate you inviting us, really.
Yeah.
Big time, man.
It's been a really great thing to meet people through too. It's kind of weird because we'll spend an hour together before we actually meet in person. I don't know, just this weird thing that happens to you. So it's been interesting. Just want to say, Linda Stempa, thank you for joining, and Brian Wagner, thank you for joining.
Hello, Linda.
Brian, shout out to Brian. He's also a photographer as well. Worked with him a bunch, so very cool. Let's see here. All right. So the way you write is a little bit like someone might kick something off and everyone else kind of jumps in. Do you ever like start rehearsals with a jam or?
Yeah.
Is that I love doing that.
We're all business at rehearsals, I gotta say. In my experience, we spend a lot of time.
Because you got P and AJ who are a little bit of
True.
a wild card.
Lately.
So it's great because we usually start rehearsal with the first 4 staple songs that we have collectively as the new lineup and whatnot. Those are the warm ups. And then P and AJ will just start going off on something, and then I gotta hop on the keys, and it goes from there.
Including the theme from The Office.
Oh my God! Yeah, that broke out one day during our rehearsal. Things like that we we'll build off of organically, and then every once in a while there's oh, what is that? Or the thing I was playing the other day that AJ hopped in on, and I just go, oh, hold on, keep going. So it does happen like that occasionally.
Trying to ride the lightning.
Yeah, right. But most of the time it's a lot of us, because we play all kinds of things, will come with an idea and be like, oh, I was working on this in my spare time. Can we work with this? Can we do anything with this?
Yeah.
So that definitely, and it creates a jam, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always interesting. You put in and you kind of have an idea of it might go this way, and then someone else throws their 2 cents in, and it takes it in this place that no one else would, or you wouldn't get without collaborating.
Right.
So
it's not the feel I was anticipating, but I like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Somewhere different. Yeah, and I love that you guys bring up the community thing, and I guess it is kind of a competition, but it's a competition of the entire community together not against, but trying to maximize what the area is thought of,
raise up a voice of
exactly.
Hey, we are, and we fucking kick ass.
There's a lot of good bands around here. Yeah.
There's so many good bands here.
Yeah.
Let us play.
I feel like the scene is healthy.
Yeah. I still feel like at the end of the day, though, we're more about just trying to create good music and make an expression of, something artistic and creative. And the business part is separate from that, that whole competition idea, and I'm going to play here and I'm going to work with this person and so forth. At the end of it all comes back to, I just want to say something musically. Communicate somehow, express something one way or another. And I think if we're doing that, the rest of it kind of falls developed into place with a lot of help and a lot of, guidance, and it takes a team to put the business side of that together. But if the art's good and you enjoy it, then that's really the bottom line.
Boom.
Right?
Yeah. Forget about it.
Starts there.
What about can you talk a little bit about that team? Like I don't know, you seem to have like a good like support system, good connections. So like you the videographer, the photographers here. You just talk about like what it takes. Yeah.
Yeah, the secret people. It takes, I think, it doesn't happen overnight, and I think it takes being real and being humble, and I think it takes just being honest with people and connecting with people that also feel the same way that you do about art and sharing. And again, take away any competition and stuff like that. We're very good at like meeting people and then like sharing our contacts with our friends and stuff, because we've always been a very community oriented band, and so we like to have bands around us have the same pool that we draw from, and then they do as well, so we then meet people through them, and it's
it really takes a lot of networking, and I
yeah,
know in today's
networking.
I mean, at least my generation is hesitant to do that in person, because everything is digital nowadays. You email, it's a Zoom call, it's something like that, but you really have to be like in front of the person and form that relationship. You know what I mean? Without that, it's all superficial, and until you have that bond with somebody, you don't really go anywhere, because then it's like, okay, yeah, I'll catch up with you, and then you never hear from them or whatever. So it really takes a commitment to like, no, I'm going to show up, I'm going to engage all the people around me, the people that come out to see us. You have to take the time to engage, because you never know who's going to be.
But every single person
to be the right person that's like, oh, I know this photographer that works for these people and will come out and do this. So okay, cool, awesome.
Yeah. We've met for amazing photographers just through playing, and we don't know who they are, and they're taking pictures of us. We form a relationship with them afterwards. We do not, we're a band who, this whole band doesn't leave. I mean, some people might leave, but this whole band as a whole doesn't leave any gig until like everybody leaves. And usually that's when we're like hanging out afterwards.
Time to like
hanging out
for the people that come out to see you.
And we love to hang out with everybody.
Yeah.
So, and anybody who knows us knows it. Like, we're a very like hangout kind of a band.
Yeah, I think a big part of that is we want to be connected to people that enjoy the music, enjoy the show, not just at live shows, but the music itself, the songs, and whether that's digital or in person. We're creating this stuff. We're on this journey together, discussing musical things and going down this path of, creativity. You're all supposed to be part of that. We do this and kind of include you in that, and especially with, the team that we talk about it takes. We couldn't do any of this without the people that are behind all of those things, that like the music, that support the music, that are here tonight, that are listening, that are buying CDs or downloads or whatever. People like John Paul, people like Scott,
Susan.
Yes, Susan.
Yeah.
And we have a really great core group of people that come to shows, that engage with us regularly, that we interact with. We want to grow and expand that. That's the whole point of talking like this, is about, we're going this way. You want to come? That's really it. You want to come with us? And if you want to come with us, we got lots of stuff for you to participate in.
And these are people that just happen to come to a,
Yeah.
Oh, I came to see Corey Feldman, but I left Love
Yeah.
or stuff like that.
That's
Came to see.
right. You did opened for him, right?
Yeah, that was our last show of 2022. Was Corey Feldman.
Smithereens.
We did Smithereens in one of our first big shows of the year. Yeah.
Very cool.
That was the summer. Yeah. It was all very cool. Corey is very cool. Eccentric as all hell.
The
Yeah.
bottom line, just like social media, it just takes engagement. Like
Yes.
in-person engagement.
I love
you want
that.
to build that, and you want to make that connection with people, and that doesn't mean
Yes.
just through your lyrics. That means when somebody comes up and says, "Oh, I felt this song because I've been through this," you listen. You know,
Yeah.
stuff like that, and you never know who knows somebody.
Yeah, for sure. It's like part of the experience, kind of too. Yeah, it's like yeah.
That's what makes this business fun. That's my hours when I go out and play.
Yeah. No, I love that you get that, because I think that's like a big hurdle initially. At least it was for me, for sure. But it's so powerful.
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting accustomed to it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. I was actually this is kind of rolls into one of the questions I had for you too. Like, what would you have like advice for people who are just starting out for a band? What would you tell them right now?
Play a lot, all the time. Don't put your instrument down. You kind of live with it. It's an extension of you. It's a way for you to speak. And the more you do that, trained or untrained, play all the notes. All the notes matter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it takes: dedication to the craft, to the art, to the understanding of it. Listen way more than you speak. Listen. People don't do that anymore. They don't actually listen to music. In our days, of course, it was put the album on and we sit around and do various things while we're listening to music. Now music is a background thing on a phone that you hear while you're passing through somewhere. That's not music. If you want to make a profession of this, listen to everything.
Really listen.
Yeah, active listening, not just background noise.
Well, my thing is, don't be afraid to fuck up. Because here's the thing: if you are too afraid to hit a note because you're afraid your voice is gonna crack, you're not ready. If you're afraid that you're gonna hit the wrong note while you're playing a solo, you're not ready. Those are the things that you need to get over, because everybody fucks up, and it's how you recover on stage.
The recovery.
That makes it.
As
soon as you make a face that looks like you're pissed off, everybody knows.
Yeah.
Nobody else would know.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid of the fuck ups.
And don't make those faces.
No.
It's great advice.
I was talking to older bands, and like, I mean, I can't even say Jimmy Page because he's a perfectionist, but there are certain bands that you listen to that, like, oh no, that note was definitely off, but they were like, fuck it, leave it in there. That's what makes
it's real.
it.
It's human.
It's real, exactly.
That's what's going to discern us from AI.
So I'm never, don't be afraid of the fuck ups. That's the bottom line.
You want to listen to human or computer?
Yeah, I mean, it's the recording process. You go back, a few years, with Def Leppard albums, all the perfectly attuned recordings. That's not real.
Well, now the term is overproduced. Everything is overproduced.
Right.
And I mean,
there is a line. It's all real. We don't.
But we're not. I personally had to get over the hurdle of being afraid of that. Violin is a really finicky instrument. It's squeaky. It's hard to play.
So squeaky.
For a while, I was like, fuck this thing. I hate it. But then it was like, there was a moment where I was like, I have to stop being afraid of that. And if I can throw some distortion on that, and that sounds amazing, cool, great. I'll make it work. And I ended up falling in love with it because of not being afraid of the imperfections anymore. So, yeah, you gotta embrace it being a human performance at the end of the day.
Very cool. Is that something like you put on and off, or is that something you keep on all the time, or do you use any other kind of effects
actually,
or anything?
With them, I don't really use.
Okay.
So with them, I don't really use it a whole lot. It's normally clean tone, a little bit of reverb here and there. But for myself, like my particular amp does that. And when I
let me just say this: come out and see a show.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Oh, well, actually, that's true.
Come
we
out
are
and see
working on some
You'll
things.
see what she does with the violin.
So we are building some things. It's good.
You are playing a lot of good ones too, so I probably actually big confess I should be at.
It's fun.
So.
It's fun after.
All right, Linda Sculpts, thank you for following. We will follow you back as soon as this is over. Stone Digger, thank you for joining. Geode Riffs says, heck yeah, gotta support each other. Yes, Geode is another band out of Bethlehem who just released a song called Blast Off, I believe, which is pretty awesome. So go check them out. And Roller Blinks Thank you for joining. If you have questions, you can drop them in the comments and we'll get to them. So speaking of that kind of stuff, like first time on stage, were you all naturals, or is there like a certain amount of stage fright that you have to kind of battle through to get through that stuff? Because I feel like people are on one side or the other.
I'll say this: I'm an introvert in that way. Performing for me is not always comfortable, and I've been performing since I was 15. So one of those things you just do, and you know, if you're good at it, then it becomes second nature to you. So it was a long time ago. So yeah, probably the first time. I can't even remember how long ago that was.
Oh, yikes.
We're
I think it's great.
from the first show, put it that way.
Well, but
I used
about
to,
you?
I mean, again, I did the same thing, kind of grew up performing.
Oh, yeah, you grew up with him.
Like,
Hey, we're playing this at 10G. Let's go.
Sure, you guys did a bunch of gigs together.
The library when I was a little kid for Christmas, stuff like that, you know. So I kind of got used to it early, but there was a moment where, again, you become really aware of all the fuck ups, and like you become really aware when to hit a certain age or proficiency where you're like, this isn't gonna cut it anymore. And then I had a few, probably a good year or so where I was like, I don't want to do it. Now, again, don't be afraid of the fuck ups. Now I'm just like, all right,
I'll tell you a really quick story though, because it's something, like I said, it's not always natural for me to want to do those things, but while I was working at Martin, I would travel around all over the world, all over the country, and do events, clinics, and stuff like that. And part of my show was demonstrating all these really cool classic custom guitars and so forth. And I played some of these really intricate fingerstyle pieces, the kind of things that, like, you got to start at the beginning and play it all the way through. If you mess it up, you can't start right there. You've got to start back at the beginning, right? They're very detailed things. And I remember being in front of 150 people playing this song, and I just lost it mid song, and I knew it, they knew it, couldn't keep going. I had to just stop and own it and be like,
but it's about the recovery.
I owned it.
If you have the personality, then you go.
What I found out in the end, though, I started it over, and by the time I got through it, I had the audience with me because they were so happy that I made it all the way through. Like they were like the ski jump guy. You know, you're in the air and you land it. They're like, yes, that's awesome. So I learned to embrace those things. That this is difficult. You mess it up. But when you get it right, you gain a whole lot from that, personally and the audiences involved. So that's my quick story about my stage fright messing things up.
My thing is, I think when you're starting out and you're playing for like smaller audiences, it's very intimidating. The less people there, I find it's more intense as the artist or entertainer to really do what you do. At this point in my life, like I don't really care about that anymore, but there was a long time, the less people that were there, it was a harder gig.
Oh, for sure.
And I think the more people that are there, it's less of a harder gig, and I have to chalk that up to just the fact that you're trying to connect with more of a soundboard of like human flesh than it is to look at individuals looking back at you and not wanting to suck. So
yeah.
I have a harder time with
so I think almost every artist has the hardest time with intimate audiences. I think the more people that are there, like the easier it is.
Yeah.
So
it amazes me when people can do that as well. Like I'll just plug my other daughter, SarahGoldenMusic.com. Yeah. She's been the kind of kid that, her whole life she'll play and sing an original song and she'll look you right in the eye the whole time. Yeah. And she makes me nervous doing it, right? I could never do that. But she's like right there, she owns the whole thing, and it's always amazing that, you can be that out there and willing to be vulnerable to people. When you are, that's when you make the best connection. That works.
Well, that's why I love playing taco, because it is
you're vulnerable.
Right.
Yeah, people sense that. They're
it's
rooting
easier
for
to
you.
connect to people when there is fewer of them, for sure, because you can meet the individual. However, that's more pressure on you.
It is.
You know what I mean? When it's a whole crowd of people and you're on a stage, the lights are going, you can't see anything. It doesn't even matter. I can't count the people out there because I can't see any of them.
Yeah.
But when you're in a small
Well,
room and there's like a handful of people, yeah,
And
it's a little more
that's the
nerve-wracking.
craft, though, and that's, I say that to anybody, including them. That's the craft. That's the job. This is what you do.
yeah,
It's like,
whatever,
it
I
takes
think
time to get comfortable.
I think it's been easier. It's been easy for me to kind of navigate this because I'm half deaf and I'm without my glasses. I'm blind. So when I look out at people, it's a blur. And then I'm like, what did you say? What? And people are like, fuck you. And I'm like, what? Like I don't really hear much. So to me, it's kind of like almost like a Helen Keller experience, but it works for the band. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna do what I want to do. I ate my Fruit Loops this morning. I'm happy. Or Captain Crunch. I'm good. And so it kind of just goes off into that realm for a live show. So
I've been doing it wrong all these years.
Yeah.
Before every show, he's like,
Oh.
it was kind of shit, and then I just said fuck it, and it was fine.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as you
Get out of your own head.
As soon as you
Let
stop
it go.
about the people
Let
listening,
everything go.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
as soon as you stop giving a shit,
Listen to.
it's because you give so much shit.
Yeah.
When you stop giving a shit, you've exceeded. You've risen to a level of, I think, more of entertainment-wise, a professionalism.
here's the thing too, when people come out to see you organically, like Susan and whatnot,
Yeah.
they already know, like, they're coming to see you raw. Doesn't matter.
Raw.
So, even those, like, she's seen a bunch of our shows, and I know, like, when I fuck up, there's no way she doesn't hear it. But at the same time, she doesn't care. She's like,
right.
yes, I came and saw it, and it was unique. You know what I mean? It was like, so you have to remember that those people are still coming to see you do what you do.
Yeah.
In your element. And as soon as you get in your element and stop worrying about everything else, then it's engaging for those people. Because they come to see that.
That's the journey. Like, that's what we're doing. You come along.
Wasn't there a Disney movie about that?
There was.
Element?
It was called
No, not Element. It was
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
No,
that was a ride.
Never
mind.
all these artists and stuff being in their zone, and that really is a thing. Like, when you're in your zone with your instrument, and you feel that connection, you're not paying attention to anybody else in the room. You're not paying attention to the crowd. You're
the last
you're
unicorn.
engaged in like what you're doing, so nothing else matters.
Yeah.
And that's
I always tried to describe it as like you want to be a listener too. Like you want to kind of take a step back from yourself and just be like an active listener and just let it all kind of happen and not force it. Yeah, but it's like one of the hardest things to do, to get in that zone.
It really is. It's a hard thing to get into the zone. So, Mike, what do you do to get into that zone?
Well, I was going to ask you, do you have any like rituals beforehand? Because we used to, like we used to like get in a circle and like
we can. Well, okay. Before we say, what's your ritual?
We used to get together in a circle and just, I don't know, say something about playing a good show and
Yeah, that's cool, man.
A lot of work into it, but we don't do it anymore. We should bust that back out.
We all just take the time to get into the appropriate headspace.
Really? Is that what it is? Is that what you call it?
You have time to do
All
that?
right, I'm gonna go with Maddie. We all get into my car. We we roll the windows up, and we get into the appropriate headspace. That's our ritual, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
And a good glass of wine doesn't hurt.
Yep.
And then I'll video them for blackmail.
Hillary, thank you for joining. Ed, you worked at are you still work at Martin?
I don't. I left there in 2013 on my 20th anniversary.
Oh, okay.
I had a great time. Done a lot of things, been all over the world, worked with tons of artists, built and designed tons of guitars, and had a blast.
Very cool. Hillary is our bass player, and she works there as well. So.
Oh, great.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, very cool.
Anything they tell you about me. It's all true.
Oh my God. No, there's some great people over there.
Aww.
Oh yeah. I still have a lot of friends that work there, and had a great time in doing everything I did. I learned a ton, and had experiences that I never would have had any other place. So I'm grateful for all of that. And yeah, it was a great gig.
It was a great gig.
Very cool. How about one that's more like, what do you think some of the biggest challenges are of being in a band? This is one I always like to touch on because I feel like, yeah, there's a few.
That's one. My biggest advice for any band, or the biggest challenge of being in a band, is staying as a band.
Yes.
And that, it comes down to that.
Good job.
Staying as a band. If you can keep the same core. Can we cuss on Instagram? Oh,
Shit.
I did? Did I already cuss?
Not many times.
If you can have a band that can keep the same core motherfuckers as long as possible, to grow, to bond, to go through the experiences of the highs and the lows, the bullshit, the glory, the fun times, the shit times, the fights, the makeups, the friendships, the enemies, which are still bonded. Enemies can still be bonded and come back and reform cores of that friendship. I think that's a successful band, because these are relationships, and I mean, it's cliche. It's a relationship, just like you're with a girlfriend or boyfriend or marriage or whatever. But if you can keep that core gang together as long as possible, and even when it changes, whatever that core gang is at that point, the longest you can keep that core together, I think, man, all you can do is go forward, because you keep learning each other's creativity. You keep learning everybody's expressions, all the musicality that comes out of everybody to form that core of music. I think that's what's most important.
Do you have any, what are good ways to do that? Just like being good communicators? I feel like that's a big part of it.
Good listeners.
I think, thank you, good listeners.
And be professional.
Be professional.
This is your job and your craft, right?
Yeah.
Take pride in it. Don't let your ego get in the way. Listen to each other. Work together. You have one goal, not everybody. Everybody wants a solo at the same time. No.
or everybody might have a different goal per music idea or whatever.
Yeah.
It's about
it's a team sport, right?
It's about collaboration. It's about respect. And if you play with people you respect, when shit hits the wall and somebody has an argument with somebody or whatever, I mean, at the end of the day, you're still family, you're still a gang, it's still like you against the world. And so you got to keep that in perspective and always have all your members' backs, no matter what. It's a gang. So
communication is key. Don't be afraid to say anything, but don't be afraid to take shit.
Yeah.
Either.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to take the shit if
like,
you say something that's not cool with everybody.
Shut up now.
Yeah. Like if listen to everybody's opinion and don't be afraid
Respect.
to figure out.
I think it comes down to respect.
For sure. Do you ever, you're talking about keeping people together for a long time and going through the creative process together for a good amount of time. Do you ever find, they say, people's brains sync when they do things like jam or play the same things? Do you feel like you kind of fall into that easier and easier as you go too?
Yes. And I think that only happens when you are in a working environment.
Yeah.
You're playing a lot of shows together. You're constantly just creating together. I think that becomes symbiotic with just tuning into each other's energies.
Well, yeah, we were just talking about how you become vulnerable when you're putting all that out there. So it takes a certain amount of comfortability around the same people consistently to become that vulnerable and say, here's what I got. Here's lyrics that I poured my heart into, or here's this melody that I've been working on in the music a lot. You know what I mean? It takes vulnerability to be able to open up like that. So having that trust amongst your people means something. Yeah.
Can you talk about lyrics a bit? Like,
Yeah.
who?
Just to let you know, Mike, also, my phone's about to die.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're almost at the
we
end,
got an
too.
iPhone
So.
charger? Hold on. We're gonna fix the situation real quick.
That charger will reach. It's right there.
Never mind. Hey, man. Hope everybody's having fun hanging out here with the Bellwether Ritual podcast.
It just makes it.
Join the secret people. And Mike has been gracious and amazing. And you think we're ever going to? I know it's not a commercial break. Do you think we're ever going to hook up for a show?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
should figure that out, man.
Sure. Let's do that.
Speaking of the networking, are you sure that doesn't go in the bottom of my phone, John Paul?
Yeah, because it's the older one. That's a newer one. So I'll get one upstairs. I'll be right back.
All right.
We're just about at
We gotta
time.
make
So
this work.
it makes it more interesting. No one knows when it's going to end.
I know. No, I know. All of a sudden, and then you know what I wanted to really tell you.
Hey, that's
yeah,
what it
you want
goes.
to talk about lyrics? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Lyrics?
Can you talk about that process? Is that something like, are you writing them majority of the time? Is anyone else? And how?
I'm gonna say it's me.
Part of the process is you wait for music, or sometimes you come with lyrics first?
It's both. Yeah, it's both. It's always been both. Always been both. It was always lyrics first. I have tons of lyric books. Lyrics first. I would collect lyrics all throughout. I lived in New York City and Philadelphia. I'd collect them in the buses, subways. Write down my own experiences, whatever. When I lived in Florida, growing up.
And I'll plug you because I think there's a lot of great lyrics, and the only way that I actually get to hear the lyrics is by listening to recordings. Because like when we're playing live, oh, there's lyrics. Oh, he's singing.
Oh yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a terrible story about my pet gerbil, Henry.
No, but when I listen back to the lyrics, they're actually really good lyrics. They get like a lot of credit. And if you haven't listened to it, Phoenix.
I'm very lyric oriented, very word, very. I want you to listen to Run the Secret People song, like if you're inebriated or whatever, but especially like lately I've been like, oh, if you're stoned, this would be cool, whatever. But it's everything's very lyric oriented, and all our records and stuff all have, as you can see, the lyrics of all the songs that were written.
Yeah.
Primarily Mike.
And there's a lot of content in all of it. I get a lot of imagery out of it. The lyrics are not pedestrian. They're meaningful. They're dynamic. There's a lot of different aspects I think that you get from them, and especially lately, I think there's a lot of things that have a lot of connection potential for people lyrically. The fact that
duality where you can take it any kind of way,
and the fact that the music really tends to mesh well and match that, and they support each other, not one heavier than the other. I think that's really a key for right now for this band, for what we're doing, what we're working on is,
Do you try to have a theme or something for the songs, or is there a place you start, or is it just kind of
really.
like sometimes?
I feel like
I just
in the previous material, it all seems to kind of flow a certain genre and direction. I mean, you got Mississippi Sun, Arizona, Phoenix,
these are all true
these
stories.
But all these different places that he built stories out of.
What I did.
Now it's again multiple influences, so it's a little more. It's deeper than it's deeper in meaning. It's more rather than ballady and storytelling. It's more like emotion driven, if that makes sense. Things that people can take and absorb for themselves in any kind of way, rather than this is the story of, and that's also great because people connect to that too. It's the same thing story wise. But yeah, I think lately the lyrics that have been coming out, they're a little deeper than what they have been, for sure. Even Life Is Happening, that has a whole not generic, but like broad meaning behind it. It's an anti-suicide. It's like a get happy kind of song rather than this is the story of. And I feel like a lot of people can connect to that.
I don't think it was intended that way.
No, absolutely not.
It evolved,
again, it kind of evolved organically into
lyrically,
that.
that's like there's not really a goal. I want to say this all the time. It's just how this makes.
Oh
me
no,
feel
that was written
something.
very specifically for
Yeah.
suicide.
Right.
That was very a very suicide, anti-suicide specific. I've with certain friends of mine that have killed themselves. That whole lyric came about around that subject matter.
Right. So the lyrics currently,
without trying to talk about it.
The songs that are coming up have a much deeper meaning that a broader.
We don't know. He writes the lyrics.
Broader amount of people can
He's
relate
the word
to
guy.
Yeah, he's the word guy.
You can just ask me.
That's what I love about music is that you can express those things that you might not be able to express in other ways. It's really super cool.
It's true.
So yeah, for sure. We are at time, actually. An hour goes quick. So yeah, why don't you guys just plug everything you got coming up one more time, and then we'll sign off. But thank you so much for jumping on, and yeah,
thanks for having
going
us.
through with me.
It's been great.
So November 4th, Bacon Fest. November 17th is
Godfrey Daniels.
What time?
18th.
What time is
18th.
Bacon Fest?
Oh,
What time was Bacon
Bacon
Fest?
Fest is from 3 to 5 on the Hog
3 to
Wild
5.
stage.
Okay.
And then the Music Fest Cafe on November 18th.
Yep.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that. Shoot.
Songwriters in the round.
Songwriters in the round with
Yeah.
Carly Commando. There's tons of amazing Billy Bauer. Tons of great artists songwriters from both here and Nashville coming in for that event. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
And then December 16th.
December 16th, opening for Scotty Austin,
You're out.
one of the singers for Saving
Able.
Abel at Frenchtown Arties. We have some other things that may pop up, but right now it's just kind of like penciled in.
That just means stay tuned.
Yeah.
Check
Check our website, royandthesecretpeople.com, ROI.
Yeah, send us an email, ask us a question.
Yeah.
We'd like
Follow
to
us.
Become a secret person.
Yeah.
Become a secret person. We have a lot of merchandise for our secret people.
I love that. All right. There you go, Mike, Ed, and Maddie. Thank you so much for jumping on with me tonight. And yeah, hope to see you. I'm hoping Bacon Fest, but you have a lot of good stuff coming up. So lots of opportunities to
and if
check you out.
You better come up and say hi.
Oh,
you better come up and be like,
definitely
"Yo,
will.
what's up?"
Of course, yeah.
And punch Ed.
All
I'm like, oh, it's Mike.
right. He told me to, yeah. All right. Thank you all so much. And yeah, thanks for everyone for jumping in tonight too. We appreciate it.
Definitely.
All right. Have a good night.
You too. Thank
Thanks.
you.